you sell print on demand on Etsy using Canva to create your designs and Printify to print and ship your items, then you are going to love this video because I'm going over all of the most recent updates and news from each of these websites that you need to know going into Q4. So make sure to stay until the very end because you're not going to want to miss any of these updates. Now let's start with some Etsy updates first. You may or may not have noticed that in the last few weeks, Etsy has updated their thumbnail images to, instead of being a rectangle, they're now showing as squares. So for many of this, that means we need to go back and edit old listings that maybe are getting cut off because they don't fit as well into a square. And going forward, we want to start actually creating our thumbnail images to be a square in the first place. So let's hop over to Canva and I'll show you exactly how to do this. So I used to recommend that you'd create a canvas with the exact size of the image that you are creating, but most of the times your mock-ups that you purchase on Etsy aren't going to come as squares. So what you need to do is come to Canva and create a new design. We're going to create it in a custom size of 3000 by 3000. Now you'll upload your mock-ups that you typically use in your business or any new ones that you purchase, and you'll open it onto the canvas. And here, to get it to fit into this perfect square, you can right-click it and set the image as the background. And now this will crop it into a square. Now if this isn't centered exactly how you'd want it, you can just double-click the image and now you can move it over to more center your design. You can even zoom in more by dragging it to make it take up more of the space. And the nice benefit of this is if you crop this before you even post it, then you won't even need to update your thumbnail or zoom in or zoom out at all to optimize it once it's on Etsy. So this can be a great way to make it nice and easy going forward. But what happens if you have a mock-up that gets cut off too much when you try to turn it into a square? Sometimes you'll have images like couples mock-ups that won't fit quite as well into it. So in this case, I've got another option for you. So you can do one of two things. The first one would be that you can edit the photo and actually remove the background. You can come here to edit photo and background remover. And this is going to remove the entire background, so you can just have a white background behind it, or you could even come to the elements and you could say a wood floor, for instance, and you can look through and find a good option for a background, and now we can set that as the background, and now we've got an image that fits well within the square. But what happens if your mock-up would be cut off somewhat if you removed the background? Another great option for you is actually an update from Canva that we'll be diving into a little bit more later, but instead of going to the background remover, you'd come to edit photo and actually click this magic expand button. So this is Canva's AI. You can click whole page and click magic expand, and this is going to fill in those little gaps at the top and the bottom of your thumbnail image to guess what the rest of the image would look like and auto-generate it for you. Now the AI doesn't always do a perfect job, but it will give you a few options that you can look through and decide which one looks the most realistic. I'd say this one probably does to me, but if you need to, you can click generate new results as well and do this as many times as you want to get just the perfect photo. So now you can select done and you have a new thumbnail image to use in your listings that is fully finished and able to be uploaded to your store. Now the second Etsy update that you need to know about is Etsy's new share and save program. This is for if you are promoting your own links anywhere on the internet. If you're sending it to friends, to family, sharing it on Pinterest or social media, then you can sign up for their share and save program, and if someone clicks your unique link, you'll actually save 4% on the Etsy fees because you brought the traffic. Now let's look at how to sign up for that. You'll come here to Etsy and go to marketing and then come to share and save. This page you'll be able to sign up for and then copy your unique link to bring someone to your actual Etsy store. And then you can actually go to any individual listing and click this copy link button here as well to share individual listings with anyone on the internet. And if they use this link and purchase it, again, you'll save 4% on your Etsy fees. Now the third and final Etsy update that you need to know about is Etsy's new article that they put out that they're going to support us more this holiday season. And this is a really interesting update, as I feel like they're actually for once thinking more about us Etsy sellers instead of just the shoppers. So let's dive into the article they released last week and I'll show you everything that they said. So here is the article. It says, how is Etsy supporting your success this holiday season? The first one here is they say they're having your back more than ever. They said your hard work provides an exceptional customer service, but sometimes issues arise that you can't control. That's why during the holiday season, we'll increase the Etsy purchase protection for sellers by covering refunds on qualifying orders up to $500. Now, normally the Etsy purchase protection covers up to $250. So if your customer has an issue that is outside of your control, they can open a case against your shop and see if this would actually be covered under the Etsy purchase protection. Now, it does need to be a qualifying issue. Now, what Etsy defines as what qualifies for this is if a buyer never received their package, so if it was lost in transit, if their item arrived after its estimated delivery date window, if their item arrived damaged, but this only covers one time. So typically you would actually have this be covered through Printify if you're doing print on demand like I am. So I wouldn't actually use it for that piece of it because they only cover one time, and Printify already has protections for you in place for when there is damaged items. They will actually pay to replace it or give a refund. And then it also says if their item matches the listing description and photos, but a buyer claims that it does not. So if maybe they were confused about what the product has available, but you were clear, Etsy will look at that case that the customer opens against you and decide if it gets covered under this or not. So the only way to actually use the Etsy purchase protection is if they reach out to you for help through a help request, and then the buyer has to open a case about the order. So unfortunately, this does have to open a case against your shop to be able to be covered. So you can let your customers know, please open up a case against the shop since I think this is going to be covered under the Etsy purchase protection. One of the Etsy employees will look at it within normally about 24 hours, decide if it's covered or not, and then take care of it from there. The second update is the one that I'm actually most excited for. And this said that they're going to be providing 24/7 support. So they said, we're here if and when you need us. You can get support around the clock in our help center, including live support for most topics. They said today over 80% of all chats are answered with 1 minute, and nearly 90% of requests are resolved in less than 24 hours. And what they said is that they've also created a dedicated process for sellers experience issues with account suspensions so they can quickly file an appeal and have a specialized agent review their case. Now, this has just always been an issue with Etsy, that new sellers get suspended and then have to appeal it and get their shop reopened. So with them streamlining this process, that is great news for everyone. And the third topic in the Etsy update is keeping Etsy special. So what they go on to say is they want to make sure that Etsy remains the destination for unique, handmade, and creative items. So what they say is they're working hard to keep items that violate their policies off the platform and taking down ones that are already listed. So this, I saw another video say that they're hoping that this means that they're going to be keeping copyrighted things off of the platform, like things about Taylor Swift, for instance. And so that's my hope in which direction they're going in. But as long as you're creating your own unique designs that add value to the platform and using a production partner that you share the information for on your listings, then you will be compliant with the rules that they have set up in their handmade policy. Now let's head over to Canva for the new Canva updates. So Canva just recently came out with some new magic features, just like I showed you the one with the Etsy thumbnails, but there's a few other ways that you can use their new magic updates. Now, if you don't have these just yet, it should be any day now that all users get these new features rolled out to them. But essentially, this is mainly to be used on photos. So items that you have gotten that are not editable. So something maybe from Creative Fabrica. I grabbed this Creative Fabrica graphic right here to use as an example. And if you're not familiar with what Creative Fabrica is, it's a website that has millions of graphics and fonts that you can use for your print-on-demand business. And you get access to all of those for only $9 a month or $59 per year for unlimited access. It is an absolute must-have, and I do have a free trial for 10 free downloads down in the description if you're interested. But a lot of their graphics aren't editable, so this is a perfect example of how to use it. I can't change the words in this design. So once you upload this into Canva, you can select Edit Photo. Now there's going to be a few different ways that you can use this. So let's say you want to erase some of the words and add your own. You could use this magic eraser to come in here and delete the words and add your own into this spot. That way you can make it your own custom design. Another option to take away the text in a design or change the text in a design is to use their grab text feature. Now this doesn't work perfect. I've been trying it a little bit on my own, but it is a good way to just remove the text altogether if you want to. So this is going to let you edit the current text within the photo. Now the AI tries to find a similar font within Canva, but when it's something really script and pretty like that red one was, it's not super likely that they'll be able to find something. But now they just created that Christmas word into this new text box here, and now I can actually edit it myself. But I think that this feature is just going to get better and better. So now it's just another way to be able to edit the creative Fabrica or any other designs that are kind of more pre-made, so you can piece it into smaller features. And one last way to use these new magic features is one that's not quite as new, but this magic edit button right here. Let's say I wanted a pink Christmas tree to be added over here in the side. I could fill in this space of where I want the pink Christmas tree and tell them exactly what I want. So I could say I want a cartoon pink Christmas tree and see what it comes up with. And again, your prompts are really going to be key here in getting better with what you're asking for to get exactly what you want. So you might need to do some trial and error, but if you can't find a graphic to fill in what you are looking for, then this can be a great place to go. So I think this one right here actually added a cute little present. I think that's adorable, and we can add that into our design if it makes sense. So this can be a really cool feature to use if you just need that one final graphic to complete a piece and you're not able to find it somewhere else. And if you haven't used Canva before, I do have a 30-day free trial of their Pro plan linked down in the description. So now lastly, we move on to Printify. They are the print-on-demand company that I use to print and ship all of my products for me. And I do also have a link for them down in the description if you haven't used them yet, but here are the new updates that you need to know about. The first Printify update that you need to know about is that Monster Digital now is offering more colors for their 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗢𝗗𝗘 sweatshirt. If you sell this item, you'll know how exciting this is. They now have more colors, including the color sand. At the moment, a couple of the sizes are out of stock, but I do have hope that they will get plenty of stock in for the Q4 season, since Monster Digital is one of my favorites for keeping stock all year round. The second Printify update that you need to know about is that SwiftPOD and a few other providers are now offering prints on the sleeves of their items. So this I think would most be used on the 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗢𝗗𝗘 sweatshirt. We've seen the best-selling products all over Etsy where there's cute words printed on the sleeve, and now we're able to print there as well. So looking here at Printify, you can put a design on the front just like before, but now you can also add something to the sleeves. So now when you look at the preview, you can see that in this example, I put a cute little disco ball on each elbow, and I'm actually ordering samples of 3 different ways to do sleeve prints. So make sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to see that video when I release it next week. Now that brings me to the last update from Printify, and that is their new branding features. So if you come here to Printify, to your store settings, and come over to branding, you'll see that you can now offer brand inserts for a lot of your items. Now this is not available through all print providers, but if you're using Monster Digital or SwiftPOD, these will absolutely be available to you, and it looks like 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗢𝗗𝗘 is coming soon as well. So for 10 cents, if you have Printify Premium, you can include one of these custom inserts in all of your packaging, and it's 15 cents per insert if you don't have Printify Premium. But if you are just getting started and want to try Printify Premium, where you can save up to 20% off every item, then I do have a code for you. It's all capitals, 𝗗𝗂 and the number 30, and you'll get 1 month completely free. And I actually ordered a sample, and it looks just like this. You can put things like your social media, or ask them to leave you a review, or even include a discount on if they purchase more items with you with a coupon code. The other new branding update that you need to know from Printify is you can now include neck labels. So instead of having just a tag in the back that says Bella Canvas, you can actually have your own logo. So when you're in designing your products, you can click neck label inner, and you can put your own logo right here. Now this costs about 60 cents if you have Printify Premium, and around 71 cents if you don't. And I do also have a sample that I ordered to show you what that looks like. And here is a cute little label printed on the inside of the shirt. So that is what it looks like. and it looks really nice. Now, do you have to do this? No, I don't think it's necessary. And personally, I don't know if I'll be adding these to mine for 60 or 70 cents per item, but I do think the custom inserts is a really good option. But if you are looking for that really branded look and you think that this might get you extra sales, you can add that neck insert if you like. And now that brings us to the last Printify update, is that now Printify is offering gift messages from certain providers. So if you go into Etsy and turn your gift messages on, and then come into Printify into your store settings and come to gift messages, you can enable gift messages on all eligible orders. Now, the supported print providers is a lot like the neck labels. You have Daimonity, Monster Digital, Swift POD, Print Clever, and Printify Choice. These are the only ones that have this available. So the only thing I'll tell you is you can include these gift messages in your listings. But if someone purchases an item that's not from one of those print providers, so if you sell other items like mugs, tote bags, or ornaments, then it's going to give all of your customers on Etsy the option to leave a gift message. And then those customers won't get them because it's not supported. So if you're selling lots of different types of products, then I'd probably keep the gift messages off. If you are selling only products through, say, Monster Digital or Swift POD, then I do think this is a great option for you and your customers will love it. And then just one final update for me and my mock-up store. For anyone who's purchased my whole shop bundle for $30 and gotten access to now over 500 mock-ups, I do have some updates this week for you. I'm now offering the round metal ornament as well as some new Christmas mock-ups for you to use in your Christmas designs for this upcoming Q4 season. So if you haven't checked out my whole shop bundle yet, I'll link it down in the description if you're in the market for some new mock-ups. And as always, thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I hope you learned some valuable new updates today from some of our favorite softwares. And I'll link a video up next for you to watch with the Canva secret features that nobody knows. Trust me, you won't know all of these Canva hacks, even if you've been a long time Canva user. Hopefully you'll love it, and I'll see you in the next one.